Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. My name is Soumya Prakash. And before I start today's podcast, I wanted to share a story with you. My son is 7 years old, and once he was playing in another room and he was playing on a chair. While playing, he fell down, and I heard the sound. I went into that room. I asked him whether he's fine or not, and he stood up and said he's fine. But as a mother, I felt that everything was not fine, so I just hugged him. And he started crying. That day, I understood something about how men and boys are wired. They hide their pain, and sometimes they don't take help from the right people at the right time. And that is why this podcast is dedicated to all of those professionals who don't ask for help at the right time. And so today's my guest is Hemant Deshpande. He's an internationally certified executive coach who has spent more than 17 years in IT industry, including 10 years in leadership roles. After a successful corporate career, he made a bold transition into coaching and has since been helping professionals navigate career transitions, find clarity, and build more fulfilling lives. And now he's also helping professionals to transition into more meaningful and rewarding career in coaching. In this conversation, we'll explore his journey from corporate leadership to coaching, the challenges professionals face today, and how you can take control of your career and life. We will also discuss male loneliness and why it is important to take help at the right time with the right people. I'm very excited and delighted to welcome Hemant on my channel. Thank you, Hemant, for taking out time and doing this podcast. Welcome on my channel.
Thank you, Soumya, so much.
And this conversation is very important because I hear a lot of professionals, they feel stuck. And many professionals today, Hemant, are feeling stuck and they don't quit.
Yeah.
What lie do you think people tell themselves which is keeping them stuck in their career?
What lie they are telling themselves. Um, so what I think is that many people take their jobs for granted.
Right.
They think that, they own the job. But the lie is that they don't own their job. The company owns that job and it
True.
can be taken away any day. And we are seeing that a lot these days, Soumya. So, yeah.
For a lot of people, success means having a stable job, especially those who have worked in public sector. Like I was in a public sector company. Do you think in what, and you were also in a kind of stable job. You left that and you transitioned into coaching. So was there a point where you felt that this path is not for me?
Soumya, I worked in the IT industry for about 18 years. Now, this was a great, fantastic journey for me. I learned so many things. I worked with great companies. I got opportunities to work with fantastic clients from around the world. Many of these clients were Fortune 100, Fortune 500 clients. So I learned many technologies, learned to adapt new technologies as technologies keep on changing. So since the time I started with mainframes technology and then moved on to so many different technologies. So it was very exciting. Also, I grew up, through the ladders, as they say, and started handling lots of responsibilities, handling, larger teams, all of that. That was exciting part for me. But then there came a point, Soumya, that, it started affecting my work-life balance.
Right.
It started affecting, I started asking myself a question that, what is the difference I am making? Even though I was building large, enterprise IT systems, but I could not see the impact I was making. I was working hard, my team was working hard, we were working on very large enterprise projects, but I couldn't see the impact. And at some point in time, because of that, maybe the meaning was lost. And that's when I
Right.
started questioning myself that, is this what I want to do? Is this what I want to do it for the next 10, 15, 20 years? And the answer, started coming back as through my own reflections, is that started, the answer was no, and repeatedly no. And that's when I realized that I need to do something about it, maybe explore a new path.
And if someone who is watching this podcast, they feel stuck and they have the same feeling, that they don't see a impact, what would you tell them to stop doing immediately?
So one is that thinking that this is the only way,
Right.
because for a long time I thought that this is the only way, right? This is how, life goes. All my friends were also in jobs and everybody was going through the same challenges. When we used to meet for coffee or for, as friends meet, we used to complain about, our bosses or our clients or how hectic the life has become. And even my colleagues, the companies where I worked with, right, at lunch table we had same discussions about, why clients are escalating things and how things are. And so one day I realized that, I'm thinking that this is the only way. But
True.
what if I started asking myself a question? What if there is another way? I did not know what is that another way. But what if there is another way, and I can look at that, and that is where actually the seed of exploration was sown, because I was open to new possibilities. So
True. And how did this journey unfold? I mean, how you feel it right now? You have been doing this for a long time now.
yes.
So how you feel after leaving job and transitioning into a new career?
Yes. So, Soumya, I think it goes through stages, and it went in stages in my case also. Um, so to be honest, when I started exploring new path, it was exciting to explore what I can do differently. That was exciting part. But when it actually came to making a decision, it was scary. I was fearful of, leaving the known world, so-called comfort zone, even though it was uncomfortable, but it was a known area, right? Known world. So that was a scary part to make that decision, but I'm glad that I made that decision. And then there was a time when there was a vacuum, because for almost 18 years I was in a job every single day, right? No break. And then suddenly I was on my own. So initially I took 6 months sabbatical, uh, you know and in those 6 months I used to check emails even on my sabbatical, at least for 1 or 2 weeks. And I was so used to it. I was so habitual to that, and my phone was not ringing, and I was like, what is happening? So there was a vacuum. So that stage also came. Then there was a time when actually I started enjoying my freedom and enjoying my free time. I started reading, I started traveling, I started spending time with my family, friends, things I wanted to do but could not do because of my hectic schedule. So all these stages, it went through. Now it's been 11 years now, and it has gone through those phases of when I started looking at becoming a full-time coach, trainer. So initially there was a struggle. There was not much of work. I did not know how to do it, all of that. But over a period of time, I learned it. I never gave up on my learning journey, and through that learning, I was able to establish that. And thanks to so many people who helped me in that journey, and because of them, I'm here today. But I did not also give up on this journey. And it's been 11 years, and it's really fantastic.
I will ask two questions related to this. One, my first question is, did you take help of any professional like coach, mentor while you were going through all this? And my second question is regarding a change management concept. One concept which was given by Elizabeth Kubler Ross. It is about whenever there is a loss in our life, we go through five stages. First is your denial, second is anger, third is bargaining, fourth is depression, and fifth is acceptance. And acceptance is the stage where either you change or you quit. So, did you go through all these things in your life when you lost your corporate life?
Yes. I did go through that, Soumya, and I will answer your second question first. Because while going through these stages, I realized the need for a professional coach and mentor I needed to work with. So all those stages, denial, depression, or doubting my,
Anger.
yeah,
Then
anger,
there is
anger also.
then
Yes.
there is bargaining. You feel that you should go back to the
Your
to the
gap,
path
yeah,
you
go
knew.
back, go back to the comfort zone, or go back to the known world. All those stages happened, stages happened. However, I was very clear about doing this. and I knew that it was not easy to do it, but I was committed to doing it because I realized that this is a new life I want to create for myself. And there was this stage when I wanted to do this, but I did not know how to do this. And then I was anxious about it, the depression phase that you talked about. So I was not in depression, but I was in that anxiety that
Right.
I want to do this, but how should I do it? I don't know. There was fear. I was the only earning member in the family. So how financials will work out? I did not know, will I be successful or not? This is something I had never done in my career, new field altogether. So lots of unknowns, lots of uncertainty. Now, having said that, I realized the need to work with a coach. And it's an interesting story which I would like to share with you and the audience is that while I was thinking that I need to work with somebody, but whom should I work with? Now remember, this is 2012, 2013 to be precise, uh, end of 2013 around. And at that point in time, coaching was not very popular or prevalent. But I remember one Sunday, and in Sunday times, there used to come, supplement which was called
Right.
Lifestyle. Lifestyle. It was a glossy paper thing,
Yes.
if you remember. And
Yes.
in that supplement, they used to publish contemporary topics. And
Correct.
in one of those articles, I read about coaching,
Oh, that's
personal coaching, professional coaching, and I read that, and in that they had mentioned that when you are in your life dilemma or a career dilemma, and so you can work with a coach. And I said, this is exactly what I want. This is exactly what I am going through. I am going through a dilemma. I want to do something, but I'm anxious about it. I don't know how to go about it. All of that. And I was clear also somewhere that I wanted to work with a professional because family members help. There is no question about that. My family helped a lot. My friends helped. However, there comes a time when they are too attached to you, right? They were too
true.
attached to me. So, I wanted somebody who is independent and who is professional, like we go to a doctor, right? So then when I realized that, oh, there is somebody called a coach, then I actually sat down and Googled for life coaches that time. And I found two people. Out of that, one person, his name is Milind, and I called him. His phone number was mentioned on his website. I called him, I spoke to him for about half an hour, and that conversation was so fantastic. It was life-changing conversation, and I decided to work with him as a client, and he was my coach. And I worked with him almost for a year, and that helped me a lot to clear my anxiety. I could share my worries with him, I could share my aspirations with him, I could share my dreams, all my thoughts, everything. So he gave me that space to be myself, clear my thought process, also encouraged me a lot in terms of going forward with what I wanted to do, and that helped a lot. So yeah.
And I would like to know what was the reaction of your family when you told them that you have resigned from your job? Because in Indian families, especially when a male, earning male, he will come and say, because I receive a lot of queries regarding this, that ma'am, you left because your husband was supporting you, and it is not possible for us to leave a job or transition into a different career path. So I want to understand this, how your family helped you during those phases of your anger, anxiety, depression, and
Yes.
especially
Yeah.
your spouse. What was the role of your spouse?
Yes, very, very important question, Soumya. And your questions are actually taking me to back into the memory lane, like a flashback. And I remember a conversation I had with my spouse, Shubhangi. So when these thoughts were going through my mind a lot, right? It was not like a passing thought, right? It was not like कि अरे हाँ कुछ तो अलग करते हैं अभी इसमें ये बोर हो गया. So that is a passing thought, right? That
Right.
happens on a stressful Wednesday, but it was coming to me repeatedly that Hemant, do you want to explore something new? That thought was coming up in my mind. a lot frequently. So one day I spoke to my wife and I told her that I want to do something different. I want to quit my corporate job and I want to do something different. And she was shocked to hear that. My son was only, 1.5 years old that time. I was the only earning member in the family. Um, and she said that, Hemant, you're the only earning member in the family. You know that this is a big risk if you leave your job. And I could understand her worry. You know, I could understand that very clearly. But there was something, you know, I don't know. But on that day, clarity spoke through me. I don't know where that clarity came from. But this is what I said to her. I said that I know this is a big risk, but I also know that if I don't take this risk now, this could turn out to be the biggest risk in my life.
Correct.
Because I want to, make good use of my life and my talents. And then she looked at me again and she said that, Hemant, go ahead. You do what you want to do. I'm with you. And since that
So
moment, she has
nice.
been a rock solid support for me throughout this journey. And there came times when I wanted to go back. I wanted to go back. And then she reminded me of that conversation and she said, Hemant, you said that you want to do this. So now go ahead, don't look back.
Right.
That was amazing support because it was not an easy journey. So that is one. So all credit to my wife, Shubhangi. Another thing which I want to mention, Soumya, is that both my parents were with me at that point in time. And I felt that I should talk to them also about a big decision that I was thinking about taking or planning to take. So one evening, I sat them down. I still remember we were sitting in a living room. We were sitting in a living room, and I told them that I'm thinking of doing something different, quitting my corporate job. And in my mind, I was expecting a response like, why? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want you to leave a job at such a good company and you're earning decent amount of money, all that. But response from both of them was, Hemant, we believe in you.
That
And
is so
you
nice.
go ahead and do what you want to do. You have built your career really well, and we have total trust in you. Whatever you will do it, thoughtfully, and you will do well. And that blessing, Samya, has changed my life. Thanks to my parents also for their blessing and total trust in me. Yeah,
And we do job for financial security, Hemant, when you were transitioning to a new role, a new career path. So how did you manage your finances during that period?
that's a very practical question that you asked, Soumya. Because a lot of people have passion, interest, right? But they get stuck with the financial management part. How will I manage,
Right.
supporting my family? And that's very important, right? We cannot just, ignore that part. So this is where another friend of mine, who was very, very helpful. He's my dear friend and financial planner. His name is Chentil. So when I started thinking about transitioning my career, quitting my job, the first person outside the family was my friend Chentil. So I spoke to him, and not only me and my wife both sat with him, and we discussed different scenarios, what will happen, and then we had a contingency plan. We looked at numbers, we looked at objectivity. So on one side it was passion, calling, all of that. I balanced that also with practical, logical solution to that, in terms of what will happen if I stop earning, what will be impact on my family, right?
Right.
I wanted to make sure that that impact is minimal. Even though there was going to be impact, that also we became aware of, that if you stop earning, then there will be an impact, but that can be managed. So that planning helped me, and my financial planner, at the end of that exercise of do contingency planning, told me that, Hemant, you have 1 year runway. You do whatever you want to do in 1 year, you establish yourself, and then you're good to go. And that gave me so much of peace of mind and clarity that yes, I have 1 year. I don't have to worry about every day how I'm going to earn money, how much money I need to earn, what's going to happen. So that 1 year helped me establish myself really well. And by God's grace, support from my family, support from my friends, and lots of references and connections I could build in 1 year. Of course, I worked hard in that 1 year, and then it worked out really well. But that gave me and my family also that assurance that yes, we have 1 year to work with, and that was very helpful.
Hemant, from your journey, what I understand that you already had a very healthier support system.
Yeah.
Many people in India, they don't have this kind of support system, or they don't build it intentionally. So what would you tell them how they can build such healthier system within the organization and outside the organization with your friends, family, colleagues? What should they do?
Yes, that's a great question, and I have worked with many clients in the last 11 years who had similar kind of a situation. They wanted to do something, but their family was not supportive, and then they were stuck. Now,
Right,
in such scenarios, I think what helps. So first, let's talk about the family support part, and then I will also come to the organizational support part also. Talking about the family support part, if I see that for someone they want to do something and their spouse is not supportive, it's not that their spouse is not wanting to support them. It is because of some concern and worry that they have for them and for the entire family, and that's why they are stopping them. So if
correct.
a open conversation can happen, open communication can happen, and whatever the worries and concerns are, and if they can be mitigated through a contingency planning, right, a lot of
Right,
those concerns can be addressed. That is one. Secondly, is that it also depends on how much confidence the person has in himself or herself in doing that. If they themselves are shaky, saying that I don't know, should I do this? Then their family members also start doubting, thinking that
right,
is this person clear? Or if they themselves are not clear, then better not to do it. So they stop them, saying that if you're not clear, please don't do it. But if they are clear, like in my case, I was clear, I wanted to do this. So, thanks to my family members for their kindness and love, but they could see that I was clear and committed to take that journey. Yes.
right,
So that's on the family front. And in some cases, Soumya, it takes time to align your family, enroll them into this new possibility you can see, but they cannot see it yet. So, constant communication is the key. And I have seen many clients over a period of time. It may take 6 months, it may take a year for somebody to understand and rally around you. Now, coming to the organizational support part, I have worked with many clients who wanted to do something different without quitting the corporate job immediately, and they were hesitant to talk to their managers. So one of the things which has helped many of my clients is that talk to your manager, saying that I want to do something different. Give them data points, give them some ideas also. It's not like I don't want to do this, now you tell me what should I do. That's a very difficult question for any manager to answer, right? Whereas
right,
if somebody goes with saying that this role, can we look at transitioning, me transitioning out of this role in the next 6 months or 1 year, and I would be interested in this kind of a role, and then share the data points around that. It becomes a much more practical conversation even for the person's manager to have. Then they can actually support, and they can actually support them in their transition journey. I have seen
right,
one example which I would like to share here is one of my clients wanted to become a coach by quitting the corporate job, but he was hesitant to quit the corporate job. He said that, is there any way I can, do this in the organization, but I don't know how. And exactly this is where we had a conversation, and I encouraged him to talk to his manager. Initially, he said, no, 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 I don't want to talk to my manager. I don't know what he will think. He may think that I'm thinking of quitting my job. I said, you're
Right.
not talking about quitting your job. You're thinking about doing something that you like to do.
Correct.
So, with a lot of hesitation, but he gathered courage one day and he spoke to his manager. And in that conversation, his manager told him that, you know, it's very nice that you told me about this, because in our organization there is an opportunity in their L&D, which is learning and development department. There was an opportunity for coaching. They were coming up with coaching across organization, and this client of mine, he got an opportunity in that, and he worked as an internal coach
That's
for
so great.
1 year. I think more than 1 year. He got a lot of experience without quitting his job. He could do the work that he wanted to do, and then after that he quit his corporate job, and now he has been doing full-time coaching. So the conversations can create new possibilities, and it can open new pathways and doors that people had not considered before.
And today we are living in very uncertain times, Hemant, because of technology changes as well as the war conditions we are looking at. And freshers are not finding jobs, mid level professionals are losing their jobs. So, what would you suggest to all of them? How should they look at their career and finances at present time?
A lot of these choices depend on the personal situation, but what I would say is that, and this is something we have seen working as a proven method across clients, irrespective of their experience level, industry, their roles, or functions that they come from or operate in. And the proven method is this: if one wants to be happy and successful in their career, both are important, right? Some people make mistake, like I made in the initial part. I wanted to be successful. I said that happiness will come later, or happiness will anyways be taken care of, right? But that did
A
not.
lot of a lot
Yeah,
of people think that they cannot go hand in hand.
exactly. A lot of people believe that happiness and success cannot go hand in hand, but that's a myth, and I can tell
Right.
you that. And this proven method is exactly for that. That we all have heard about, read about
Correct.
ikigai for life, right? Now there is something called as career ikigai. If one can focus on what are the skills that they have, what is it that they are good at, great at, what is it that they love to do, what are they passionate about, what are they interested in, what are they curious about, what is it that excites them, motivates them. That is the second part. The third
Right.
part is that using the skills that they have and using the passion that they have, what is one problem in the world that they can solve?
Correct.
So in other words, it is like what the world wants, or what the world needs. That is where value can be created, because you have the skills and you have the passion and you can actually solve a problem in the world, and that is what the world wants, what the world needs. When that happens, then rewards, financial and otherwise, also become available, because you're solving a problem, you're creating value. For example, coaching, when people, especially senior professionals, they have the experience, and those people who are passionate about helping others, guiding others, and they are good at it, they have worked with teams. The world needs such kind of people as coaches.
Right.
And then when they become coaches and they help other professionals, and the demand is huge, then the rewards, financial and otherwise, like satisfaction, fulfillment, contentment, or a purpose driven career, these all things become possible. So that is the fourth part, which is the rewards part of it. And when all these four things are in place, I think happiness and success are possible together at the same time.
My next question is, Hemant, that many professionals are going through extreme work pressure and burnout. And we have seen there are some unfortunate cases of suicides in IT sector, banking sector, as well as in government sector. So, how can individual recognize when they need help and seek support before things reach that point?
Yeah, that's a very important question that you raised, Soumya, because we are seeing such cases happening. People are getting, stressed, burnt out, severe health issues, and in some extreme cases, suicides also have happened. We have seen that in the news, and we also
Right,
see that around us, unfortunately. Now, one of the questions, or rather, one of the things that we can look at supporting people around us, especially the young people, um, is I think this is arising from the competition and comparison mindset
correct,
that's arising. That is one part of it, right? The second part of it is when relationship with failure, when somebody feels that they have failed at something, or their boss yelled at them, then they start thinking that something is wrong with me,
right,
and then these extreme thoughts come up. Yes,
right,
that is the second part. Third thing is that when people are going through that stress and burnout, they try to do it all by themselves and don't talk to people around them about it. I think it's time that people start talking about the stress and impact that they have. Also look at where this race for success coming from. Also why this failure feels like I'm not good enough. These things we need to look at more closely. This is also societal conditioning that has happened, so we need to look at ourselves as societies, because we can any change we can only start with ourselves. We cannot
true,
say that, okay, society should change, right? Because we are
right,
part of society. So what change we can start with ourselves. Now, to your question, that if somebody is experiencing stress, burnout, what can they do? One thing is that their life, they have to realize that their life is very precious.
correct,
Very, very precious. So they should not you know ignore any health issues or anxiety or depression or anything causing health issues to them because of work. They should consult a professional, because professionals are trained to handle these things, and professionals can really help. Because as coaches we have helped thousands of professionals. Of course those were not extreme cases, but there are also psychologists or counselors who are available to deal with stress, anxiety, depression, and mental well-being related issues or mental health related issues. And it is something that we need to realize that, like, if when somebody is not well, easily they will go to a doctor.
right,
Or somebody needs legal advice, they don't hesitate or feel shy about contacting a lawyer,
right,
right? Or chartered accountant. When we have to file our taxes or need tax advice, we easily call up chartered accountant. That kind of awareness also needs to come about with counseling, coaching, uh, because these are really helpful.
correct,
These are really helpful. And I would like to share a small incident with you. I was talking to a friend of mine who is a doctor. This happened few months ago, and I was talking to her, and I said that her name is Sujata. I said, Sujata, you have a great opportunity that you meet so many people and you cure their diseases, and you prevent health issues. You make their lives better. She looked at me and said, Hemant, you're doing even better than me. I said, what? She said, you are a coach. So I work on the health part. And she said, you not only work on so she said, Hemant, you are actually working on the holistic wellness of the person,
right,
because you work on their mindset, thinking, self-limiting beliefs, the emotions part, the emotional control part. So she said that actually you as a coach, you are dealing with and helping people with so many more aspects. And I
true,
realized, oh yes, and so that is available. That is
And
a
I'll tell you my story, Hemant. I joined your coaching, and Viraj ma'am was my
yes.
coach. And I'll also tell you that at during that time when I decided that I want to quit, I was like, I'll do something. But when I actually resigned, I got my money, everything was done, and I started feeling that depression. And into depression, I started searching for a coach. So, from my own journey, I realized that working with Viraj ma'am was totally different from talking to my family and relatives because they were giving me motivation, but I was not able to understand it rationally that what I'm actually going through. A lot of black spots were there in my own approach, which she helped me. Viraj ma'am helped me to identify what are the black spots, what I'm thinking wrong about myself, and where I should start working. Where should I start? That also can be provided by a professional, which family, friends, and colleagues will not be able to provide you. So I think I totally agree that it is very important to take help of a coach or a therapist if even if you are going through any burnout and you don't want to transition but you need a therapist. But still, I would like to ask you one more question
Yes.
related to this. There is a social stigma around therapists, around taking therapy or taking mental health help from any professional, whether it is coach in our society. So, how should professionals or anyone should see this?
Yeah. When I think about it, see, when, like, I will extend the example that I was sharing earlier, that if one has any health issues, right? Let's talk about therapy, for example, right? If one had, let's say, a little injury and their hand is injured or their leg is injured, they won't feel hesitant to go to a doctor and get physiotherapy for that, because they want their hand and leg to get cured. And so mind is also part of our body,
Body.
our being, right? Even though it is not a physical part, right,
Correct.
it is still part of us, and keeping that healthy is so important. So it is part of well-being. So mental health is very much part of well-being. It is as simple or as straightforward as we go for eye checkup, we go for physical checkup, we go for blood tests, or all those kind of things. Same thing, if somebody is experiencing some anxiety, depression, which they cannot handle by themselves, it is always good to go to someone, because their life is too precious. And this
So
stigma,
true.
right? See, one of the things which I realized is that I don't want to live my life worrying about what other people think, कि लोग क्या सोचेंगे, right?
Most
So
of the people are actually living their life कि लोग क्या सोचेंगे.
लोग क्या सोचेंगे, right? So on a lighter note, right, somebody said that अगर आप ही सोचोगे कि लोग क्या सोचेंगे, फिर लोगों के लिए काम ही क्या रह जाएगा,
तो
right?
लोग क्या
So
सोचेंगे एग्जैक्टली.
तो फिर लोग क्या सोचेंगे, एग्जैक्टली, राइट? सो मुझे लगता है कि दिस स्टिग्मा, आई थिंक, इज अगेन, is a myth, in the sense that it exists. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but we should not worry too much about that. What is good for me, what is good for my health, what is, see, when somebody gets impacted because of that, right, not only they are getting impacted, their family gets impacted, their
True.
children get impacted, right? So the impact is not only to that individual, it's much larger impact. So it is so important to work with professionals like therapists. And I want to tell you one thing. Now some people think that, oh, what will happen if I go to a therapist, what will happen if I go to a coach, what will happen if I go to a counselor? One thing we ensure as professionals is that there is absolutely no harm that happens to a person. There are no negative side effects, there are all positive results that you get. This we have seen in all the cases, no exceptions. Nobody has come till date 11 years, Soumya, has told me, oh, coaching harmed me. Not a single person. 100% of our clients and all the people that we have worked with, they have all come back with overwhelming positive experience. And thanks to you, Soumya, you shared your own experience. which is fantastic, which will encourage more and more people to experience coaching, counseling, and therapy as they require it.
My motivation of doing this podcast is that only that if you ask for help, you'll get the help. And taking the right help is very important because it will shape you in the future. So my next question is, Hemant, that a lot of very educated professionals, they feel burnout, and we have seen college dropouts, they are becoming billionaires. If you'll see this contrast, what this contrast tell us about mindset, risk taking, and the education system of our country?
Yes. So what I'm seeing is, and what you quoted is absolutely correct, right? The formal education system is becoming lesser and lesser important now. What is becoming more important is how the young minds are solving real world problems,
Right,
and they will learn what it takes to create that solution. A formal education, I have gone through formal education journey myself, right? There are benefits of that. However, I will also be honest in sharing that a large part or a big part of that formal education was not to apply in real life.
true.
Most part of what I learned was actually in the real world when I entered the workforce, when I started working with companies. That is where I learned real skills. So the importance of formal education is becoming lesser and lesser because of that reason. So now these, the smarter young generation, what they're doing is that they're actually directly jumping to that. What is the problem I want to solve? And we a lot of times talk about the startups and the unicorns, young people, right, in their early 20s. They're doing great work. They have identified a problem that they want to solve, what they are passionate about. Now if you see somewhere, we have come back to the ikigai conversation again, right?
Right,
We have identified a problem that the world wants solved. Yes, there is a problem in the world that needs to be solved. Then they learn the skills which it takes to solve the problem, and they are passionate about that. And then the rewards that we see, that they have become millionaires or billionaires and things like that, these are just outcomes of that. And of course it requires a lot of business management and strategy and all of that, right? But that will come into place when one has the right passion to solve a problem in the world, and then they will learn that what skills do I need to solve this problem. And then the success of that business, of course it's not that every business is a success, no, but they have at least given it a try. We have seen also cases somewhere that there are serial entrepreneurs. First attempt was not successful. They tried again. The second was not successful. But eventually, they learned through that journey, not through college, through these attempts of these startups, and they learned faster, much faster. And then they, had a startup which was a success. So that is practical learning. I think the importance of practical learning in today's world is much higher, because earlier you talked about AI also shaping the world, and AI is disrupting, and it already disrupted the world. So this practical learning becomes very, very important in today's world. Before we come to the solution part, let's look at what is causing the problem. So one is the education system, as you rightly mentioned, which is not up to date to
true.
deal with the real world. That is one part of it, right? The second part of it is the mindset that our society has. Failure is looked at as something bad.
Correct.
So most people, including the youngsters, right, they don't want to fail. So it means that they don't want to experiment. They want the safe path. And that's why they will go through the same thing, which other people are doing. But that is exactly is what is causing the problem. Because then they are not looking at the real world. They're not looking at what they like, what they are good at. And they're just following, like they say, following the herd mentality. And in the long run, it doesn't work for that person. That person will realize, oh my God, I chose a wrong path just because I was following others. Yes. And many youngsters are dealing with that. So Out of that, then what is my solution or suggestion for the young people? Is that so one might have gone through the formal education, but look beyond that. What are the new age skills which are required in today's world? For example, AI skills which are there. Also look at what is a problem that I want to solve in the world if they want to start something on their own. Even if they want to take up a job, that is fine. But what is the field that you resonate with?
Right.
Not just for the sake of earning money. Yes, some people could be in that stage. For them, earning money is the most important part. Yes, but then do that consciously, saying that okay, first 5 years I will take up this job, just to earn my salary, but I will also learn something out of that, right? So conscious choices can be made, and not just the blind following of others. And as I mentioned earlier, that the proven method is look at, again, coming back to the career ikigai part of it, right? Look at
Right.
what you are passionate about, what skills you want to develop, what is the problem that you want to solve in today's world. And then the outcome is the fourth part, which is anyways an outcome part of it.
Right.
So I think that's the way I would suggest people to look at. And it may not happen, Soumya, it may not also happen in one day or 1 week or 1 month. For some people, it may take maybe a few years,
So true.
but don't give up on that. Don't give up on that. I'm searching for what I want to do. And ऐसा नहीं है कि okay, till that time you sit at home doing nothing. No, take up the job which you think is most appropriate in that situation. So many people, another pattern which I have seen somewhere is that they wait for perfection and clarity. जब मुझे perfect clarity मिल जाएगा, then I will take action. There is nothing called as perfect clarity. Whatever clarity is there right now, go with that, because clarity will improve as you take the path. It doesn't
Right.
work like this. Okay, I'll take a break, keep thinking about it, and then I will see. It doesn't work like that. You take up what is there in front of you, make a conscious choice about it, and then keep moving forward. And then this clarity will also keep on unfolding. Yeah.
And one more important topic which I wanted to discuss with you was, it is said that next pandemic will be of loneliness. And what I have felt from my friends, relatives, that especially with male loneliness is something which is increasing, and they are wired that way. Maybe it's how they are built, and maybe because of social conditioning that they are not very comfortable with asking for help. So what would you tell them right now,
Yes.
that what should they do? Because if they are not getting support from family or relatives or friends or colleagues, what should they do?
Yes. So, somewhere what you said is, absolutely I agree with, that the next pandemic is loneliness. And it's surprising and paradoxical that in country like India, which is the most populous country on the planet, we are experiencing loneliness. We go on the streets and we thousands of people, right? But loneliness is something that you don't have the connection with another person. Now, thanks to technology, there are a lot of benefits of technology that are there, but at the same time, everybody is, immersed in their phone, right? I'm seeing this, when we go to a restaurant, there is a family sitting on the next table, four people, everybody is in their phone,
Right.
right? There is a get together of friends, there are 10 friends meeting, but out of 10 people, 8 people are checking their phones, and they're calling it as a get together. This is what is happening. That is also leading to loneliness.
So
That is
true.
also leading to loneliness. And another thing, of course, is that many people, because they are busy building their careers, don't spend enough time in building their social capital, or social connections. They think that haha, when I have time I will do that. And I am also guilty of that. Okay, there were times in my career where I have missed important occasions in my family, right? I missed my son's second birthday. I missed many important occasions in my family, friends' birthdays or parties and things like that. I said, haha, right now work is important. Later, once I have time, then I will catch up. with them, but it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I think that social connections and that needs to be looked at as an important aspect of life, because human being is a social animal, as they say. Yes, and you rightly pointed out also that men face this problem a lot more, because I can see in my family also, my wife has lots many circles of friends that she goes to. They have a
Right.
kitty party circle where we live here in the society. She also has a college friends group, and she's more. I think I have also observed this, that women are more social, or they connect much better. In fact, me and my wife, we joke that when if we are going out somewhere and she meets a friend, they can have a conversation for half an hour, and then I will have to nudge her saying that chalo, let's go, chalo, let's go. Whereas, she has made an observation about me. If I meet a friend outside, then my conversation with him will end in 5 minutes. How are you?
Right.
How is everything good? That's it. Right. And I don't know if we are wired like that, but I think women are more uh, open in terms of their conversations. They are more willing to share. They're also more willing to be vulnerable, also not
Right.
worried about what will my friend think about me. Whereas men want to look good, look, they want to protect themselves, they will not share. I have rarely heard stories of failures from men.
Right.
Somebody talking in public or even with friend circle, saying that, what, I made this mistake, right? Or I failed here, right? Very rarely that happens, but with women I see this all the time. They're very open to talk about their mistakes that they made. They will laugh about it, and they will not judge each other for that. So yeah, so I think the answer to that is, I think building social connections, I look at it actually as an investment. Like we have a bank account, I think we also have an emotional bank account, also the social connections bank account, where we connect with people, help them. And like you mentioned earlier, that men hesitate to ask for help, because many of my clients have said, oh, but how will I look? I go after 2 years and tell them that I'm looking for a job now. It means that for 2 years, they haven't, you know, even talked to that person or sent a message to that person, or if they have not even helped anybody during that time, and that's why
Right.
they are hesitant. So it's also give and take. How we can make that happen. To helping others also is another aspect to that.
Correct. And you also coach people to become coach. So who should take coaching as a career path?
Yeah, senior professionals have a lot of knowledge, career journey that they have gone through. They have worked with teams, and I'm sure they have mentored their teams, guided their teams. So if some of these senior professionals feel passionate about helping others, guiding them, helping others grow while leveraging their experience.
Right.
So there are many benefits that are there. They can enjoy the freedom the coaching provides. Online coaching, especially, that we train people on, provides lots of freedom, flexibility, also fulfillment, containment, and definitely earning is there. You earn while helping others grow. And today, because of technology, it has become much easier to establish your online coaching business or practice. And it's simple. So, and it has got many advantages for that person. Because in corporates, somewhere what is happening is that, because India is a young country, we have young population, millions of people are joining the workforce every day, and senior professionals are unfortunately not valued so much. They start feeling the stagnation in the middle layers, and also same thing is at senior levels. In fact, they started feeling the insecurity part. The layoffs are happening, all of that is happening. And in coaching, their experience is so valuable, that they can share with others, and that becomes their advantage, that becomes their strong positioning also. So, and it leads to meaningful and rewarding career. So those people who feel passionate about helping others should definitely consider coaching as one of the options.
And for all the listeners today watching this podcast, one powerful message you would like to give to all the audience, all the professionals and freshers.
Yes. So I think I will come back to Ikigai again, and I will say that find out what you really are passionate about. What are your strengths? We call that as strengths in coaching language, and we help our clients identify their strengths. So find your strengths, what those are, what excites you. Uh, Also look at what are your skills that you have, right? And then combining these to look at what is one big problem that you want to solve in the world. I think world needs that today. World
Right.
needs that today. World is in a state of wars, conflict, lots of things are happening. And I always say this, that good people should come together. So we are building a community of good people who become coaches, and it is high time for good people to come together, utilize their skills, knowledge, experience, and share that with the world. So that's something that I would definitely would like to share with our audience.
So the whole conversation was really awesome. And it was not just for learning, it was also to help those who feel stuck, but they feel that they have no one to ask anything. If you have any question, any query, you can drop a comment and you can directly reach out to him. And I'll provide all the links in the description. And don't hesitate to ask for help. It's very important, especially in today's time, that you ask for help at the right time with the right people. So, thank you all for watching this video. Thank you, Hemant, for doing this podcast. It really means a lot to me. And I'm thankful for sharing your valuable insights on all these topics, which I really wanted to discuss. And thanks a lot.
Thank you, Soumya. I really enjoyed this conversation. And your questions were absolutely brilliant questions. So thank you. I hope our audience finds it useful and inspiring. So thank you so much, Soumya, once again.